You need to stop and that's a, that's what my children taught me, is about to really stop and be patient and to listen.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, but it is just being very still within yourself. The more you let go of your beliefs and deciding how things should and shouldn't be, and allow that energy to flow, and you're quiet inside, then the information is all there, but then you'll receive it. So it's a skill set. I
Yeah.
just find it's been just a very interesting journey for me and very helpful for me. And I love to share that with people. So I just practiced a lot. So I'm a little better than some people just because I've practiced.
Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Third Chances. My today guest has this rare blend of clinical expertise, elite athletic experience, and deep intuitive healing to her work. Nicki Pakkala began her career as a physiotherapist in the UK, later serving as a team physiotherapist for modern pentathlon at the European and World Championships, the Sydney 2000 Olympics, and the Equestrian Paralympic Games. An equestrian, former British Olympic modern pentathlete, I have no idea what that is. You will have to tell me. And current age group triathlete competing for Team USA, Nicki understands the body from both professional and deeply personal perspective. Today, through Integrated BodyTalk, she combines physical therapy, craniosacral therapy, Reiki, body talk, lymphatic work, and other healing modalities to support the body, mind, emotions, spirits, and environment as one connected system. So her passion is helping people release pain and emotional patterns, reconnect with their own body's wisdom, and return to the freedom of moving, living, and showing up fully. Outside her work, Nicki is proud mom of two, an animal lover, and happy as when she's outdoor riding horses, hiking, skiing, trail running, or spending time in the nature. I just love this because you are the epiphany of life living fully. Welcome to my podcast, Nicki.
Thank you, Phil. Great to be here.
I am so excited because I just heard you speaking, and we didn't know each other, of course, and you work closely with Sean Burkett, that I have a huge respect for. And so I learned about your existence and you being involved with the same company that I am involved. And because you are professional, medical professional, usually medical professionals are very much skeptical of anything outside of their word. So for me, it's exciting to see that you embrace them all. You embrace everything that is out there as tool for us to be able to keep doing what you love to do, and not just settle for, okay, I guess that's just age, as many people do. But I'll get to it. I'm really curious about your story, about where you come from, what brings you to States, what brings you to horses, everything. So please start at the beginning. What where are you from originally, and what brought you to where you are today?
So originally from UK in England, southeast of England. My parents brought me to horses because when I was born, they had horses. So always been part of my life. And really looking back, they really saved me, really helped me connect. And so I still have a huge connection with them and a passion to working with them. And I do that with my energy work,
Mhm.
and they help me with that. Um, so and I was very physically active. I did track and field. I did 40-meter hurdles, and as in my bio, modern pentathlon, which, just if people are interested, it's shooting, swimming, horse riding, running, and fencing.
Okay.
So it's a real fun combination. But I
Yeah.
had injuries, various injuries. So I studied, trained as a PT, physical therapist, physiotherapist in the UK, and studied some other. I had some emotional issues. I was highly stressed out with competing a lot and with college and life experiences. Um, so I worked with someone with craniosacral work and body talk, which is where you step out of the way and you don't decide what needs to happen. You stop and ask. and
Yeah.
let the innate wisdom of the body, universal energy, to come through and show you what the body needs. And that's what I bring forward with my work mostly now, is getting out of the way and asking what the person needs to see.
Because most of the time people try to decide what their body needs and try to throw different medication or supplements at it and just hoping something sticks, which we have no idea what the body actually needs and in what volume.
So it really simplifies when you stop and ask. It makes things so simple because the body knows, you know. So I teach people how to do that, how to connect with their body and to have that, to receive the information from the body. And when you do that, there's much more ease in the whole system, so less dis-ease, and it's, life flows when you don't resist it.
So you can teach people how to do that for themselves, or do they have to? Because I can stop and ask, but I don't know how to listen or what to listen for. Right?
Well, you need to stop and that's what my children taught me, is about to really stop and be patient and to listen. So yeah, but it is just being very still within yourself. The more you let go of your beliefs and deciding how things should and shouldn't be, and allow that energy to flow, and you're quiet inside, then the information is all there, but then you'll receive it. So it's a skill set. I just find it's been just a very interesting journey for me and very helpful for me, and I love to share that with people. So I just practiced a lot. So I'm a little better than some people just because I've practiced.
And I'm sure it takes some intuition as well, or to be
Yeah,
able
which
to.
we can all develop. And so
Yeah.
it's a natural thing. I think growing up with a lot of animals, other horses, especially, I mean, they're prey animals, so they're so intuitive. They're like, they instantaneously communicate with each other. So in being around them, you have to be very aware of where they're at energetically,
Yeah.
and
They
to
can sense it
communicate
from
with them
you.
beyond. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and because they're going to pick up, they teach me to be very neutral and very grounded and very present. So then
Do
they
you,
feel safe. And it's just like a whole journey I've had with them. They've helped me become more aware and more intuitive and more present.
do you mind me asking, when you mentioned during your childhood and college years and stuff, you were facing a lot of stress? Was it just kind of like feeling that you need to be the best you can, or was there other pressures in your
You know
life?
what? But the thing is, looking back, for myself, I created my own stress. I mean, all the
Yeah.
beliefs, and what are the beliefs? I mean, there's so many beliefs. Not worth it. Need to try harder. Not good enough. I mean, who doesn't have something? We all have that. We all have the same beliefs. It depends on it's like a radio station. What do we tune to? We can tune to the one that's like, I'm not good enough, I never be enough, I never earn enough, no one values me, no one listens to me. Or you can like, wow, this is so amazing. Everyone's so phenomenal, and wow, and these are my gifts and I can share and shine out. So it depends what you want to listen to. I started with a really low vibe radio station, and I was tuning into higher and higher as I realized the
Yeah.
consequences physically in my body. Thinking all those thoughts all day long was making me sick. So I did get
Yeah.
burned out. That's why I
My
stopped.
question goes to, because I also came from Europe, so we both now know
It's Europe's fault. It's Europe's fault.
maybe
They did it.
maybe. I'm just like kind of trying to relate this to my own experiences, because I'm trying to see maybe the expectations around you were super high to put pressure on you, because that's what I had. Nobody was cuddling me to do the work with me or for me, but I was expected to be, high performing. And it's very different in America. So those two worlds are really uncomparable when it comes to bringing children, even though probably today it's different too, because it's kind of, diminished that
I
difference.
don't know. I mean, I didn't grow up here, so I don't know the direct comparison. I mean, growing up, I was very independent, and that was advocate. I was like not pushed as much, but just like that was very strongly, it's expected of me to be very independent from the early age. Was that stressful? Was that the cause? It doesn't really matter. I just decided to believe that I needed to work harder, do more, be more, to be okay with myself. And you just realizing as you get older, it's just it's such an inward journey. And looking back, it's such a wonderful, incredible process of learning about yourself when you start to become aware.
Mm.
And interesting, I started to become aware in my early 20s, of what I was thinking with the craniosacral work, the emotional issues I was holding in my body and why I was holding those. And then I came to a point, literally in the middle of a track session, I just stopped. When I was like 28, 29, I was doing modern pentathlon, but still doing some track work. And I, I literally stopped in the middle of the session and was like, what in the world am I doing? I had no purpose. I was creating a lot of suffering for myself. I was struggling. My body was breaking down. I was getting hurt. My immune system was off. So I was getting sick all the time. And I just stopped. I'm done. And so
Wow.
that's the awareness, because some people will keep going, keep going, keep going. But the awareness was, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And there was no reason to be doing it. And that's when I started to break down the belief systems, what I was believing, why I was doing things, and really coming back to my purpose, which meeting my husband, that's why you said, why did I move over here? Because I met my husband, who is from Finland, I'm from England, and then we met in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on a bodywork class.
Oh, wow.
So
But
then
it's interesting to me because you are still pretty young. Usually in that age, people don't think these deep thoughts, like they just keep going. I was basically that kind of person was like, oh my God, she's trying to find herself, get real. I was like, go, go, go. And no matter the consequences, which unfortunately I paid dearly for.
yeah,
But
yeah,
so for me, it's fascinating that in that age, you already realize that something is going significantly wrong and you don't want to follow that path for too long. So that's amazing. Was it showing in your performance as well that you were
yeah.
not?
I was just burning out. I trained really hard, intensely as an athlete. I did track and field as well as the modern pentathlon. So I overtrained. I wasn't giving
Mhm.
myself time to recover. I wasn't really aware what I was doing, what I needed to do, because more was always better,
Yeah,
supposedly, I
yeah.
thought. Um, and then I think with the craniosacral work, introducing that, because PT was left brain, like, okay, you move a piece of the body and it gets better. So that's a Cartesian Western medicine model. So the craniosacral brought me into the whole picture of the physical and emotional piece,
Mhm.
and the points of the emotion which are created by belief systems. And then when you deal with that, you start to connect more to who you are, instead of like this constant go, 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 go doing, which is revered, unfortunately. Well, it is what it is, instead of being really present.
And to have
That's
to
what my
fix
kids
it
taught me.
forcefully and keep going the same way you did, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
this is great because not many doctors, and luckily it's changing, are connecting the mind and body together, and it's inseparable. It's just you
Yeah.
can you can basically, if there is placebo, we can also make ourselves believe sick, and the
Oh, yeah.
mind is very powerful
I
too.
can't. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then I can. Yeah. Well, anyway, yes, that is. Um, it's very powerful when you connect the two.
Yeah.
Nothing's in
So
isolation.
how did you use it in your athletic career?
What the body talk? The what?
Anything that you discovered that can help you improve where you
Oh,
were?
well, once I sort of really realized that deeply, I stopped. Why am I punishing myself? Why am I constantly beating myself up for what? Why am I struggling so much? So I had like 25 years of really deep dive exploring what I was believing, and I had two amazing children, Daniel and Kaya, and they helped me to be really, really patient. I homeschooled, not that I chose to, I just never seemed the right time to take them to school. And the process of watching them develop and as their individual selves, and to learn in the way they love to learn, self-led, was very powerful for me. And spending hours out in the woods, just being present with them while they just played with an ant or something. And for me, from like you, that's a go, go, go. It's like okay, let's go, let's go. And yeah, so I just learned to be very present and very connected, and my intuition, blossomed from being with them.
That's
And what was the
fascinating.
question again? Where were we going? What was
How
the question you asked?
how did it affect
Oh,
your athletic
oh,
performance since you
okay.
started
So
engaging?
I'm getting to that. So and then sadly in 2020 my husband passed
I'm
suddenly, very
sorry to hear
suddenly.
that.
So
Hmm.
that was a huge turn for me to be without him after 22 years of marriage. Suddenly that was a huge shift in letting go of a physical, like that, his presence, and then letting go physically of the house I'd lived in for that time. And then my son went off to college, so physically letting go of him. And then my daughter got married and letting go of her. And then
Oh,
so I lived on land by myself. Well, I had the animals, and then they went to hers because she had, anyway, long story. So there's that process of letting go more and more. Um, of the habits I was used to, like habits of having a house, habits of having a husband, having habits of having other people to take care of. And
yeah.
suddenly it's like it was me
I,
and the
I,
ice and the cold and dealing with living off grid without a house,
where
which is
are you?
a very
Where are you located? I forgot.
New
Sorry.
Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that was a deep process of unraveling and connecting to who I was underneath all that.
Yeah.
And then I came across, I had a car accident with my daughter. And I went to a chiropractic who had this blue bottle, which had ASEA written on it. It's like, what is this? What do you do for your cell health? And so I found out, and intuitively, it just like, absolutely, I wanted that in my body. And as it happened, I had my shoulder was really stuck. I had like 20, 30 degrees of motion. It was just so painfully restricted. And I was about to go with my daughter to climb Mount Rainier. It's a 10-day trip, which is like super exciting, but super expensive if I couldn't do it. And literally the
Yeah.
deadline was like the next week to pay up in full and really commit to that. So I started taking the ASEA within 2 weeks or before that deadline. It's like immediately I noticed the difference. And within 2 weeks I had full range of motion,
That's
which is a
incredible.
PT. It's
Yeah.
like you think like you come through with certain ideas of how things work, and it's like, oh my goodness.
Like what?
I mean, that's so huge, knowing what the timeline normally is,
Mhm.
and the what I felt, that excruciating pain that I was getting, like immediately, like first day, reduced by 30%.
Yeah.
And then the full range of motion without me doing anything other than drinking the ASEA. It was just like mind blowing. So that was a big turnaround, and that's what enabled me to come back, thinking, okay, maybe I can come back and do some triathlon, and
Hmm.
doing it in a very different way without all those belief systems and forcing the body. It's like, how can I really pay attention to the body, give it really nurture and lovingly do this together with the physical, and using the mind balance and looking at my belief systems exposes a lot of weaknesses, or belief systems that no longer work. So I'm doing it in a very different way now. That's sort of a long way of answering, hopefully, your question.
No, it's interesting because people usually think in terms, what should I add that my body needs? But they never things like, what do I need to let go in order for my body to function better? What is no longer serving me? And that's like the deeper coaching questions that you get to with mentor coach when you start realizing, okay, this is like I have a very narrow-minded, focus. There are other things that complement what I'm doing, and that needs to be dealt with. So for me, would you mind touching on what the ASEA supplement uh, is, what it meant to you as a medical professional, what it does in the body that other supplements don't do?
Oh, it's the only one that it's a bioreplenishment, so it's what the body already makes, which is super interesting to me. That's what I love, is like being as natural, close to nature as possible. And it is, I mean, it's as close as you can get with taking it outside the body and putting it back in. So what does it do? It helps. I mean, the studies show this, and this is all online if people are interested, show that it increases endurance. So as an athlete, that's super interesting to me. It reduces inflammation, super interesting, helps cardiovascular health, super interesting, helps immune system, which is a big issue I had before. Um, what else? I mean, it improves cell health, full stop.
Digestive,
So
digestive,
it's
hormonal, everything. Yeah.
hormonal balance. Yeah. So it's just the whole, and if things are signaling in your body better, injuries clear up. And I've noticed so, oh my, I mean, I'm just still flabbergasted how quickly if I sprain an ankle and some pretty significant ankle twists I've done, and with a big competition like nationals, like a week or two out, and thinking, okay, this is a 2, 3 week thing to recover before I can start running. Literally the next day, 2 days later. I mean, it's insane. It's
Yeah.
insane how quickly.
And as
So
you
from
know,
total non-weight bearing to the next day being able to jog. I mean, it's just like it makes you feel invincible. Makes me feel invincible.
yeah,
But
recovery.
it's not the only thing. Of course, the nutrition you need to pay attention to. Your mindset you need to pay attention to. Yeah, the beliefs we're talking about.
The
And
recovery of the
sleep, recover.
body
Yeah,
gets slower as we age. So this is basically reversing that model, that believing that, certain things are not
and
gonna get better.
yeah, and also, but also it's also in looking at that belief as well. We get slow as we age. Well, there's certain things that shows up. I saw a study recently with 70-year-old, an age group of 70-year-old people, and they looked at the muscle of people who worked out, those that worked out and those that didn't. Those that worked out, they didn't lose muscle mass. That's the belief that people say, okay, as you get older, it's part of getting old, sarcopenia, you're going to lose muscle mass. If you train, you don't have to.
Mhm.
There's a shift in like you tend to lose power, but if you train power, you can maintain a lot. And I know with the ASEA, I've improved ridiculously quickly. I started 2 years ago to triathlon within like the second year I was doing triathlon, I was at seventh at Worlds at the World Championships for my age group. I was just national champion this year for a swim run. And I mean, the recovery I've had is I still smile inside because I know what it was like 25 years ago. I'd train really hard. 3 or 4 or 5 days later, I'd still be sore
Yeah.
and my legs would still be really fatigued and I'd have swollen glands and I'd be getting a respiratory infection. So now it's like I can just do a really hard session one day. Next day, I'm good to go. I
It's
do
amazing,
multiple
isn't
sessions
it?
in a day
Yeah.
and I'm good to go. And I'm trying to really balance out going like for as with the age thing, yeah, I think like working more intensely with power and then super easy and then more. But I'm doing like 3 or 4 pretty tough sessions a week,
Do you
feeling
mind me
great.
to ask how old are you?
I'm 56.
56. Okay. So you
And
in
this,
that you're competing in that age group.
so I mean, yes, and but also just last couple of weeks ago, I was competing in Massachusetts at state championships, but other people from all around New England came to it, and I actually won for the females, for the women, or across all ages. So this is
Congratulations.
like, this is yeah, it's because of having healthier cells and the
Yeah.
recovery.
Yeah.
And I was
The
competing at nationals for like 4 days in a row at a high level, at the national level, and 25 years ago, there's no way I could do 4 days in a row. Be
Wow.
one day and then I'd be just totally out of it.
Yeah.
So
And
it's just I have a direct comparison, even though it's 25 years apart, but I was 25 years younger and I was really struggling. Now
right.
I'm like thriving.
Yeah, that's a fascinating part because I have seen Sean Burke showing his life before Asia and his life after with the lineup of medals that he
Yeah.
won. Like out of 67 competitions he attended that year, he won, 99% of them. It's just insane and beating his own records from 10 years ago, which is normally not the logical progress of things in an athlete world.
And his was a direct comparison because he was continuing to compete and he started to take it and he managed to hit that different straight away. But today I did a track session. My times were like really good for even 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I felt like I was 30.
But
Literally, I felt in my
you're
30s.
mentioning things it's very important, because some people start and if they don't have the baseline and if they don't know what to watch for, they may have a feel like, oh, it's not doing anything. Well, that's impossible, because this is the body's biology. But you have to actually pay attention and measure things, what improves, what doesn't. Like, does your sleep improve? How your energy? How is your heartbeat in the exercise and stuff like that? And you, as a professional athlete, are used to measure these things and pay attention to these things. So it's important to know that you cannot compare anything if you don't have the baseline, and you
Well,
don't.
and that's the thing, exactly that. And yeah, as you say, the cells are changing, and there's no argument with that. It's like, how long has it taken to get from A to B to where your health is now? But people, the expectation, talking about beliefs, expectation is, oh, well, I've taken it for a week and I don't notice any change. I've had it for 35 years. And
Yeah.
it's like, I can't even. So it's just educating people that, well, it's like going to be like a month, at least a month for a year. It needs to take for 3 months. I mean, don't start. I mean, to be honest, I tell people, if you're not prepared to do this for 6 months, don't bother.
I
Because
actually do the
it's
same
the
thing.
change is
Yeah.
happening, the change is happening, the
Yeah.
change is happening. And it is measured. What's your pain level like? And write it down. Well, how's your sleep? Write it down. If you go to the gym, lift some reps, how many can you do, and what weight? A useful score is the Bolt body oxygen level test is useful. I find, because I struggled with levels of carbon dioxide in the body, so I tend to mouth breathe. I have done for years. I didn't even know. I wasn't aware that was an issue. But people who mouth breathe when they're exercising, like running hard, they tend to have the high blood pressure and what's it when you can't sleep apnea. So people with that tend to be very sensitive to carbon dioxide levels. But with the ASEA, I've noticed my Bolt score has got longer. I can hold my breath. The tip is just very quickly what it is you first thing in the morning or after rest, you just you breathe normally. On a normal out breath, you just hold your breath until it's uncomfortable, but not so you're gasping. And you just take that time. And if it's less than 20 seconds, that's significant in terms of sensitivity to carbon dioxide, which means if you're over breathing, you're not getting oxygen actually into the body.
Mm-hmm.
So the slower you breathe, and the more you can build up the carbon dioxide to a point, then it forces the oxygen into the blood. But mine's increased by like 20 seconds with the ASEA, which meant at altitude as well. When I was climbing Mount Rainier, I was able to do that. Whereas without that, I don't know if I would have managed.
When you were first introduced to it, it was through the chiropractor that you went after. So you had issue after your car accident?
Mm. Yeah, so I was just interested and car practice that yeah, it's typical. I mean, I don't know if I should say, yeah, I'm going to say it anyway, because car practice, like, they have their little things, their supplements, they like to sell their supplements, so I don't really pay much attention. So I'd been 2 or 3, 4, 5 times, but I kept looking at this blue bottle, and it's talking about cellular health. It's like, okay, well, I'll just ask. And then I felt the bottle. And I know intuitively I just check in muscle test or muscular biofeedback to see what resonates. And it's like, oh my goodness. And then Laura Zentmeyer, who works in this area, she called me and sent me I listened to a call, and it's like, so I got the science behind it as well, which again, that really satisfies. Well, I mean, science
Curiosity.
is really
Yeah.
helpful when it's done correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. And can I ask you, when you first mentioned that your shoulder was getting better within a week or so, did you use a gel as well as a topical version, or just the liquid?
I can't remember because I use the gel so much now. The gold and the new is like insane. I just every day. I mean, it's just it's huge. In
Yeah.
addition, did I use that as well? No, not to start with. I think I got everything. Maybe I don't think I did. I just remember taking the drink and how dramatic and how quick.
I had an issue with my shoulder as well, on and off for 15 years. It was limiting me in the gym. I couldn't put weight on it, and it just was, uncomfortable. And I was actually sold because of Renew 28. We didn't have gold yet at that time. And because somebody told me, hey, I just put it on 3 times within 5 minutes and see what happens. And I'm like, yeah, right, sure. Like, we have tried everything. I had a brilliant trainer who had a background in physical therapy, brilliant by science. He knew exactly how my body works. We tried all the angles and it never stick, longer. It just came back. And so I'm like, sure, I'll try it, but I had no intention to even believing that it's possible. And I regained full motion in my shoulder within 5 minutes. And I'm like, holy moly,
Oh,
what
really?
is
Wow.
this?
That's awesome. Yeah.
That was before I started taking it. So that actually sold me on looking into it deeper, because I was like, I was in nutritional world. So I was helping people with immune system and diabetes and weight issues and health, cancer patients with diets that facilitated their body to raise the immune system, or do things that we can do with food and food nutrition supplements. But I thought I knew everything. It's like we are so arrogant. And it really blew my mind, because this has nothing to do with nutrition. This is just like a whole different angle that we can approach that was missing for me. And started with my shoulder. I had no idea and no expectations that it can actually affect my chronic discomfort I had after 3 back surgeries.
Yeah.
I was told
Wow.
repeatedly, that's not gonna, unfortunately, your body did all the healing possible. This is your new normal. My new normal was that I couldn't sit in car for half an hour. I have to get up and walk around because I couldn't stand the discomfort. And
Wow.
so for me, the shoulder was one thing that was welcome, but I never dreamt that I would actually be able to affect this, because I had my first back surgery was when I was 18 years old. So it was like
Wow.
basically my whole life I had issues with my back. And the last several years, really significant, because now I have a bolts and metal in there, screws, and it's all gone. And I'm like, if that was the only 2 things that it did for me, I'll be forever grateful. But it keeps continuing getting better, because as we age, things are changing and things are being affected in the body that I had no idea I had issue with. So
Well,
it's just
that's exactly
fascinating.
that point, because people listening, because I had a dramatic initial response, but that's that universe saying, hey, pay attention to this. This is really important. So it was essential that it got my attention. And it seems, and the same for you. Some people don't necessarily have a dramatic change, but the change is happening, and where it's going to work is in areas you don't even know you have an issue with.
Yeah.
So yeah, you think, okay, I'm fine, or I don't have any particular things, but you may have some major cardiovascular issue going on or something else building in the body. I have a bioresonance device which measures the systems in the body, which is super helpful because I can use that to see where I'm at. That gives you biological age, and it looks at how you absorb vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and all that. So that's another thing that I can see. And
Yeah.
there's so many systems that are affected, influenced by the ASEA, that we don't necessarily know, because the symptoms are the last thing you get after your body's already lost its capacity to adapt and
Exactly.
to find a
Exactly.
balance.
Yeah.
So you don't know where it's going. But the science, I mean, there's some great science on it, double-blind, placebo-controlled science, gold standard. Um, every cell, anyone with a cell. And if you think it doesn't work, check if you got cells.
And not only on cellular level, but on genetic level, which is mind-boggling on its own, because you have something that is native to your body on a genetic level. It
Yeah.
doesn't exist in the world. This is, you cannot overdose on it. You cannot misfire with this, because your body is producing redox signaling molecules as we speak, just less than when we were younger. So all you're doing is replenishing it to full potential. So the more redox potential you have in your body, the better your body is capable of reacting to things and nip it maybe before it becomes a problem, which, you correctly mentioned, like people think, oh, I'm healthy, I don't need this. And today I would probably be like that just 10 years ago. It's like, nothing wrong with me. My blood work is fantastic. I don't have issues. If it wasn't for my back, I really didn't have any other issues. But of course, we age. And things are happening in the body that may present themselves with symptoms maybe 7, 8 years later. And so for me, this is kind of like, I'm looking at this like a health policy, because I'm not afraid to meet somebody who is sick, because I hardly get sick. My immune system
I've noticed that as well. I don't know.
My immune system is like up, my cholesterol went down on its own, even though, I have the pep talk about the statins, and I'm like, no way, zero chance. And I was eating healthy already. I'm a nutritionist. I eat whole foods. I cook from scratch. I don't use any processed bull stuff. And yet my cholesterol was rising and it was disturbing. And I'm like, okay, well, and then suddenly 6 months later, it was down 60 points on its own without me changing anything in my diet. So the body just needs to have the tools to balance itself in every area, and everything is interconnected with the minds as well. Yeah. But for you as the athlete, I mean, what does it mean to you that you can actually go back to it's professional career, professional level athleticism, and not be worried that your body can't keep up with you?
It's profound. I really thought I was done in my late 20s. But I have a new purpose with it. It's so fun to see what the body is able to do. I'm getting faster and faster. My swim times are coming down like insanely. And that's something historically I really struggled with. But the breathing's getting a lot better and a lot easier. So I'm not getting so like total, and it's not a fitness thing. It's just more that blood level of dealing with the carbon dioxide and getting the oxygen, enabling the oxygen to get into the blood. So my recovery is so quick. My bike's faster, my run's getting faster, everything's getting faster. I mean, I had 25 years of not competing, but I was very fit and I still trained. I still moved a lot. So it's really exciting to see what's possible. And I had so many injuries from horses, I mean, horses, like, they move
It's
fast
easy.
and they're high. And I mean, I don't know any horse rider who hasn't fallen or been fallen on. So I had a lot of concussions and injuries. So it's been an interesting task to balance my body and stay biomechanically in moving in a good way and recovering quickly. So it's been a challenge, but
I remember a very unique fall from horse for somebody who was running horse riding place in my 20s, 30s with my husband. I fell from completely still standing horse.
Good job.
We came from a really difficult walk in a like high terrain in the snow. The horse that I was on was pregnant, so she was very careful where she stepped because there could be ice underneath. And we were going like steep hills in the forest and then, of meadows and stuff in the snow in the winter. And we came back to the horse riding place. And the lady that I was riding with, she was like, let's go inside the hall so we don't, get down here on the ice. And so we went into covered the riding hall that we had. And I was trying to get off. The horse didn't move. But as I was trying to get off, I hit the heel of my boot with on the saddle, and I was already in that position, and I just fell like a bag of potatoes. And it was so embarrassing because I was like, I hope nobody can see this. This is like, she didn't even do anything. I was just it's unbelievable.
So imagine that the 4 times I've come off of my bike has been from stationary because the cleats, I wasn't used to having the feet stuck in. And literally at the first time, in the middle of a parking lot, my son was with me just to show me how to use the stuff. And literally I just like keeled over right in front of like, I don't know, 30, 40 people. And they all just looked at me and laughed.
Lady probably never exercised in her life. No, it's really funny. It's and with horses especially, it's you're never too far from incident. Did, you mentioned that your parents have horses. Did they have them just like on farm or they're competing horses?
Um, My dad at college had a horse. He used to ride to and from Oxford College to Birmingham, which is like a 3 day ride. She was
Oh
his
wow.
first horse. So that's what you used to be able to do. I mean, like a generation ago. Now you can't do that, but just go stop off at farms. I mean, it's really cool to have
Yeah.
done that. But he was just riding for fun, and then she had a foal, and my mum competed on the foal, and then we just ended up getting more and more. I started riding when I was like one or two,
Oh wow. Yeah.
so
Well,
I grew up in the saddle. Yeah,
I didn't. It started with fear, but I really loved it.
yeah.
I
Well, they're
was
big
like,
animals. I
oh,
mean, now I can imagine
shoot, this is
as an
hard.
adult coming it to horses now. Now I don't think anything of it because I've been around them my whole life. But people start, if you haven't seen them or been with them, they're, I mean, so incredibly powerful,
Yeah.
insanely beautiful creatures. I can see it be really overwhelming. And I
We
still
had
get
a,
overwhelmed by how amazing they are, but
yeah.
yeah, they're
I
big.
was never competing. I was riding recreationally, just like using it for my, relaxed time and stuff. But we had a Appaloosa horse from somebody in our
Nice.
place that people were bringing horses to impregnate by. He was like the super duper, horse from
Oh,
America with the
it's amazing.
perfect pedigree. And so my guys that worked for me, they knew how to, do that. And we were not allowed to ride that horse. Only, professional Western riders were riding him. Well, they let me once just try. And are you familiar with Appaloosa?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They are so crazy strong. Like their back legs are like it's insane. So I'm sitting on him and just like in a little area that we were training with. And I was just riding him and he was very, very sensitive, very very responsive to very gentle commands, like perfectly trained horse. And he goes just like, let him go. And I'm like, let him go. And it felt like there was turbine engine under my butt because he took off so strongly. That was it's like when
Yeah,
the plane takes off, it's like whoa.
yeah,
It was an amazing experience, wonderful horse.
yeah.
I have so many memories and I haven't been riding for several years now because after my third surgery, I was like, I don't know if I can take a chance if I fell, but I have ridden after my second.
So I stopped riding pretty much since I started doing triathlon. Invested so much money and time into training. But I have an Oldenburg stallion. So I've got three babies this year from our three mares. She's got three little, they're like 2 months old now. They're so cute. They're great. I will go back and do that, but I want to do triathlon for another. Anyway,
Do you just
what was it?
exercise them or do you ride them?
Well, I don't now.
If-
They're out in a herd
Yeah,
together. So I have seven. Well, four, my stallion and three mares and their babies. So, but they're young. I mean, the stallion he's just three. So, but I've been working on the ground with him. But there's more fun as I get older just to be with the horses, not have to do
yeah,
anything. But
yeah.
he will. I mean, the babies are just like a few months old, so just groundwork right now. So I'm excited, like down the road, to work with them more.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So what's in front of you now in terms of competition, in terms of your personal life? If you don't mind going there, just what is in front of you as a sweet goal that you would like to achieve?
That's a great question. So I mean, immediately right now, my plan for triathlon, I have nationals in about 3 or 4 weeks, and World Championships in Pontevedra, Spain, in September. So those are the two key goals this year. And who knows? I don't know. I mean, that's the surprise of life, right? I love the work with Byron Katie, and that she's it's like, what's the if you don't expect things, what is it? What do you just lose the surprise? If you try and decide how it's
Yeah,
going to be, there's no surprise. So I'm waiting to be surprised.
Okay.
But personally, professionally, I love the work I do. I do a lot of distant work with people, energy work, which I love, 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 and I'm super excited to do more with that. And so I had like 3 or 4 years of really like after my husband passed to really connect with who I was and to go from house and buildings to a homestead and off grid and no house. And um, so that took a lot of energy. And then doing triathlon took a lot of time and energy. But I feel now I'm coming back into career and
If you practice, how do you practice with people? Do you do stuff online or do you meet with them in person?
I do meet with people still in person. Um, but my preference is to do any like distant work. So people don't need to be on the phone. They say, "Hey, Nikki, can you work with me?" They don't need to say anything about themselves, or they can if they've got some specific issues. And then I do a session with them. So I meditate, get out of the way, and just ask to be shown. And so things start to shift in the body. And the beauty of distant work is you can work three-dimensionally without, or four or five-dimensionally without any resistance or anything in the way. So you can go anywhere in the body and going to the cell level, look at the emotional pieces that people are holding. So that's really, really powerful. That's exciting because
Hmm.
the fascia will release, yeah, people's pain will go just because the connection is happening, the communication is back. So
That's
that's really fun.
interesting.
Yeah,
I had a
yeah,
healer on a while ago who travels the world and he does these healing sessions
oh, nice.
probably a similar way that you do, combining Reiki and everything. And he has his own method, and it was also fascinating because he wrote a book about it, and he's teaching others how to develop these this intuition and talents in themselves that they can actually help healing themselves, which
So it's a
is
similar thing in that way. And also I'd love on my land, I have just under 55 acres. I'd love to set up like a retreat area with some simple cabins so people can come and live in a very simple way, connect to nature, some beautiful trees, woodland around there, some really beautiful property, and have the animals there, the horses there. So people can come, have like speakers come in or people just to we sit around a campfire storytelling. I mean, it's just
that's
like that's
fantastic.
so
Yeah, oh,
powerful.
absolutely.
The
Yeah.
stars, you can see the Milky Way. It's so you could be in the middle of nowhere.
And people
Um,
burned out from career that needs to recharge their batteries and
Connect
realize
to themselves.
what
Yeah,
matters. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
when you
those are.
say no house, land, where do you live now?
I lived in my van for a while,
Okay.
so I will manifest. I'm getting there. I will, yeah, manifest
Yeah.
that at some point.
Well, as long as you are close to nature and your horses and everything. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Gives a lot of
The
freedom, a
land
lot of
is,
flexibility, and
yeah.
I can work from anywhere. So it gives me a lot of um, well, that freedom is really important to me. So
Okay.
it's like it's figuring out what your priorities are in life. And yeah, I went through 3 winters without heat, and now I'm pretty done with that. I learned a lot.
Ouch. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. No,
learned a lot,
you need to be comforted a little bit for
So now
performing.
I'm coming back to comforts, but it's the willingness to be uncomfortable, whether it's looking
Yeah.
at some belief, because you're not just nothing's going to change unless you're willing to be uncomfortable. And it doesn't have to be like pain uncomfortable, just even just looking at what you're doing in your life and checking in with what you're believing about it. And like with training to get, if you want to get, you know, I work with an elderly gentleman and he said he's getting weaker. It's are you willing to be uncomfortable enough to train and strengthen your body and lift some weights? Because if you're not, you're going to keep getting weaker. So it's just that willingness to be uncomfortable and yeah, being with that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I'm just sure, but do you work with Sean or not directly?
Not directly. I mean, he does great work. He's a personal trainer and he shares the ASEA. So we will. I mean, I think we will. We'll hopefully do conferences together and do more speaking
Mm.
together.
Yeah.
And I'm open to people if people want to speak to an athlete. Um, happy to love to talk to people about that as well.
You mentioned that you're going to Spain in September.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a conference in Prague, a SIA conference that I'm going to in September?
Oh, really?
You may want to swing by. It's I actually have a people working with me in Prague, so I'm coming to Prague this year, and it's 27, 28, I believe, of September.
Huh.
Not that far. Maybe we can catch up there.
Well, I have to write that down. To write that down. 27th. I can't even remember what the date is. I think it's the week before is the national. It's the third week. The world's is the third week. So
That may be close, yeah. Well, if you
yeah.
decide to come, I have Airbnb that can launch more people. I have
Oh,
somebody
okay.
coming from UK to join me with with her friend, with her brand partner. So we are gonna be. I'm gonna be there from 23rd to 30th, and then I'm going to see my family in Moravia, which is the country part of Czech Republic. So I'm gonna spend like three
Nice.
weeks in Czech. But for 2 or 3 nights, we will be there together with them. Geraldine is my brand partner from UK, and there's more people that can stay in that apartment. There's, I
Oh,
think,
okay.
5, 6 people can, you know.
Oh, there's a reason I haven't booked my flights yet then, probably.
Just look at it. It may be worth your time, and
Yeah.
you will find it on your website. Actually, there's
Yeah.
events in Europe because I wasn't gonna go to the Utah conference this year because I'm going to Prague. And then
Okay.
last minute I decided to go there anyway because I know everybody here
Yeah,
and
yeah.
almost nobody in Europe, but it makes sense. It's just meeting like-minded people that have results. It's fascinating.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. I love
So
traveling. I love meeting people, connecting with people. So
yeah, and especially, when you do this kind of work, not everybody understands because there's a lot of people, and I think that comes to that mindset when they expect immediate results too, because it's that pill mindset. I'll take something and something will go away right away, not
yeah.
realizing that it's basically putting a band-aid over it and it's not resolving why discomfort is there in the first place. But this is very different work, and not everybody understands because they expect these immediate reactions. And so to be able to meet with people that are in this space that completely understand, you don't have to justify your existence there. They understand, they deal with the same issues. Well, we might need to set up a session. Is there a chance, or maybe, I don't know if you want to or don't want to, but feel free to answer whatever you want. You touched on that you're teaching people how to pay attention to the signals of the body, how to listen. Is there anything that we can show them now so they can leave with some kind of knowledge that maybe help them, some simple exercise that will help them get closer to that?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think what would be the most. There's some things I love to do just to help because we tend to be like too much in the sympathetic, very high stress, do. So something to help bring the nervous system down, I love to do to start with, is just to help people balance. Is coming under the collarbone. There's the bumps of the collarbone here, the clavicle. Come underneath here and massage that strongly. At the same time as I take my glasses off, and then putting firm pressure on the eyeballs and doing
Mm,
there's some easy deep breaths in and out, and then tapping your head and chest. It's tapping your head is brain connect and chest heart store. And that's a great way to try and get my glasses on to help bring the nervous system down. And the coherent breath is when you breathe in like for 5 seconds and then out for six, just a little longer. So it brings that more the parasympathetics, and then you can come into your body. And if you come and ask, just check into where you're holding tension in the body and just breathe into it and notice. And just ask for any information asked to be shown. You may get a color, you may get an image, you may get a memory or some inner hearing of something. And just breathe into it, notice it. Don't get involved with it. Don't get involved with the story. Just feel the emotion and let it move. 60 to 90 seconds emotion lasts. So if it's longer than that, you're getting involved with some belief system or some story that should or shouldn't have happened. So imagine being an alien coming in
yep.
to life for the first time and without a story. and then it'll help to clear. And I find really helpful when you tend to get scattered and out there and pulled off in different directions by people and triggered, is just to put my hands here and just come straight back to bring all parts of myself back to center and be present again.
So what kind of issues you can help people with when it comes to, you have many different tools in your
Well, it's from anything from
tool.
the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, all those connection pieces. You can't really separate them all. They all come together. But if you've got a physical pain, yeah, what's the pain from? I can work fascially with the issue there, biomechanically in the body, and then looking at what's the belief system you're feeding into that area all day long. Like if you've got a knee pain, for example, in Eastern medicine, that's more of like a kidney issue. So how can you support the kidneys? How can you work with some acupressure points? So and also the beliefs about what's creating that fear cycle through the amygdala and keeping that going. So anything, but really the people who are drawn to me who have suffered a lot of pain for many years, tried a lot of things, and are really ready to be done, and are prepared to do the work, prepared to feel uncomfortable, and not in a bad way. When I say uncomfortable, just prepared to sit with it.
Yeah.
And then it will move really quickly. But most of us want to avoid and skirt around and never actually feel it. And when you actually drop in and feel, that's when everything opens up, and then your life will transform.
So if anybody who is listening wants to reach out and maybe see what it would look like to work with you, how can they reach you?
I have a website, but also my email. I don't know where can that be put on here? I mean, I can say it's Nicki,
If
Nicki at EnglishOakHealing.com.
I'll probably put it in the show notes. If you, I didn't double check did you fill up the any social media connections or anything you have?
Yeah, you'll
I'll
have
put
that in
it
there.
all in the show notes. So if anybody
Okay.
needs to reach out to you, you will have that connection there. And so email as well.
Yeah.
Email is fine to publish. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people just who know there's something inside them. I mean, that's my biggest fear, is like just leaving the music inside. So people who know there's something in them, and they really, and we all have these amazing gifts, but it's just really, when we have all this stuff on top of it, we can't see it. So I
Mm-hmm.
help people peel it off, and then they can see who they are. And it's
Yeah.
living that spiritual, in that very spiritually connected way, but also in our physical bodies, so we can manifest those things.
Because there is not bigger pain than regret.
And you know what? Even that, it's all perfect, because it takes us to realize certain things that I did do it before, you know, before we leave our physical bodies, or
Yeah.
not. I mean, it's always for the highest, but we have a choice. Some things we do have a choice about. And in every moment, we do have a choice whether we respond from a heart-centered place and aligned place, or whether we overreact and stay in drama
Yeah.
and pain and conflict and
And
struggle.
blame it on something else.
Yeah, because it must be somebody else. I mean, they did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But to me, it's very empowering to realize that, yeah, things happen. We can have a boundary. We have a choice in that moment, but we need to own, what are we believing about that situation. Byron Katie, she's just for anybody, such an easy, enjoyable read, and just brings such insights to ourselves, and just helps our mind break down when we actually take a look at and really pay attention to what we're thinking. It's nonsense. And
Yeah.
when you realize that, it goes. It has no power over us anymore.
Yeah. I'm recently following one monk. He speaks a lot about these things, how you can, like, if you let anybody influence you on your mood or whatever, whatever you believe about yourself or stuff. If you have anybody influence you, then anybody has power over you. So you don't control your emotions, and so, and I can be taken out of my balance sometimes still, even though I don't care what anybody thinks, but there are things that go under my skin. And so I'm actively training myself to have the discipline to really separate myself from that and just come back to center. And it's really, it sounds so simple, but it's really not easy work. You may know all the theory, and I have done through years of coaching with Tony Robbins, and I'm certified coach by Tony Robbins and his organization, and still the tools, you can help to somebody else, but sometimes it's hard to diagnose yourself kind of and see where you're still having issues to cope with. And because nothing is more powerful than the picture from outside, when like they say, you can see the tree for the forest. Even when you know the tools, and you learn to recognize it in other people. So it's
The habits we have in life. And then it's like when we feel an emotional charge, it's like if you just stop and be present to it, it can move. And that's
yeah,
part of life. It's a beautiful thing. It's like waves of an ocean. You get waves of anger, waves of sadness and grief and joy and love and peace, and it's all part of it. It's just like it's the struggle, the the pain comes when you try and stop that wave. I mean, imagine being on a beach and you're trying to stop the wave. I mean, it's just going to hurt. You're not going to stop it. You
yeah.
just like will flow with it, and that's the beauty of life, is feeling the richness of everything.
That's beautifully said. That's actually a wonderful ending to our conversation, I think. If there's anything super smart you want to say at the end to kind of part ways, yeah,
Live
it's a
your
great.
extraordinary. That's all I can say. Find it. Go in here. It's there. It's all yours.
Yeah.
Share it.
Fabulous, fabulous conversation. When I heard you first time, I had a feeling that we need to talk. It's just, yeah, and I hope it's not the last time, because I'm assuming you will have more stories about being big with Redux, and seeing how other people have response, and you will have your own story more and more, because it keeps changing. How long are you on ASEA?
Oh, just no, just a couple of years.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, two and a
Yeah.
half, yeah, just over 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's just really new, and it's just like, I mean, it's like being on a rocket. Yeah.
It's fascinating. Yeah, it's fascinating to me too, because I didn't have ambitions like you do to be, performing on a professional level, on an athlete, but it affected my life so big time. Like things that I thought that I have to really live with, that I no longer have to bother with. And when, sometimes I see people that I know it could help, and they wouldn't even look at it, and just kills me. It's just like, come on, like why would you
True, this
want to
is,
suffer?
yeah, that's a really important point. Like being an athlete, I mean, yeah, it's not better or worse. It's just like something I find really fun. So I love to travel. I love to meet people. I love to really stretch myself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And it does that through this. So I'm not sort of ambitious in terms of competing against other people, but it helps bring all that out of me, and it gives me that purpose, and I can see it, and I share my work and help, whatever. Um, but this is so important for people to be able to get up from a chair, to be able to walk upstairs, take the dog for a walk still.
Right?
A lot of people can't. Then and they say that once you start taking a sear, then the dog needs a sear to keep up with you, because then you start going for a run, and the dog needs to be healthy. So it's so for anybody, it's not about performing or racing. It's about living your life in a way that you
Yeah.
can stay in your own house. I worked with someone who had to leave his house. His wife had passed away, and he couldn't, handle everything himself.
Good point. Yeah.
But
Good
with this
point.
here, you could stay home for the rest of your life.
Yeah. There's a lot of fancy words about longevity, but it's not about how many years we can
Mm.
live, but how good are those years,
Mhm.
how quality life you can get out of those years. Exactly. It's one of my friends in Prague said, "I want to die with the boots on,"
Oh,
which
yeah.
is, it's like you don't want to be in bed living to 95, but you have to be taken care of.
It's important. It's such a the vehicle. It's our vehicle, and it's like a car. The more you take care of it, the more fun you can have, and more you can explore, more adventures.
Part
To
of the
it.
reasons why I do this podcast, because I'm meeting all kinds of different professionals that have their own way how to approach things and how to get in charge of your own health. So you can do these things before it gets that bad that you have to seek medical attention for. For me, it's a last resort. For some people, it's the first resort. Just the pills, medication, surgery, injections, whatever helps me right now. And
And that's the beliefs
unfortunately,
we're all trained into,
yeah,
and that's fine. It's right for those people. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's the options, the choices. People don't
yeah,
necessarily know there's a choice. I let people know they have a choice.
and much less invasive ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be my preference, but that's okay. That's just mine.
Exactly, exactly. Well, I hope to attract more people that think like us, and that more people that want to be in charge of their health and needing the doctor as little as possible, not aging with the full boxes of pills. And that's our goal, at least, and we do everything possible to be there and to achieve that. And I'm so excited we met, Nikki. Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
time.
thank you,
This was
thank you,
wonderful
everybody listening.
conversation. And again, if Nikki spoke to you and if you resonated, you want to reach out, there will be contact information in the show notes, or reach out back to me and I'll make an introduction for sure. But this was Joy. I wish you all the best. I wish you success in your competitions this year, that you wanna place yourself high, and a lot of health and responsive body and all the joy that you can imagine.
Thank you, and to you.